Hello everyone, my name is Suhail Ahtesham. I am Assistant Professor in Management Studies. Welcome to my 17th lecture on the subject Management Process and Organizational Behavior. In today's lecture, we will be discussing on the topic the contingency approach, the introduction, the features with diagram of contingency approach. Let's start with the topic in detail. Introduction to contingency approach. Contingency approach is also known as situational approach or common sense approach. These are the two more names given to contingency approach. Contingency approach to management is built upon the major premises that there is no one best way of handle all the management problems, right? So according to contingency approach, there must be various plans, various strategies, various techniques that has to be adopted by specialized manager and their specialized discipline and their specialized department for overcoming the situation, for solving the problems and day-to-day functioning in the formal organization, right? So this implies that there is no possibility that there must be only one technique or one strategy that has to be adopted for overcoming all the situation, for overcoming all the barriers in the formal organization. So there must be, according to contingency approach, there must be several measures, there must be several planning, there must be several strategies, techniques in the formal organization that has to be extracted by the specialized manager by overseeing the internal and external factors of business, by overseeing the internal and external environment of the business, and implement of these plans and strategies differently according to the circumstances, according to the situation which is going on in day-to-day activities of the business, right? So there is no only one best way of handling all the management problems, right? So there must be different strategies that have to be adopted according to the management problem that has been arises in the formal organization. Management should deal with different situation at different way, right? According to the situation, the manager has to react and perform its work and act accordingly, right? So basically, according to the situation, they have to be solving of that problem accordingly, right? Contingency approach require the ability of a manager to analyze and diagnose a managerial situation correctly, right? So it is the efficiency and ability of the manager at any formal organization to analyze and to diagnose the organization, the department, the concerned department, right? For every different department, there are specialized manager for who are responsible for doing the work in their specialized department, in their specialized area, right? So here it is the ability and the effectiveness and efficiency of the manager, specialized manager, to overlook the situation, to view the organization, to view his particular department in detail, and to analyze and diagnose the day-to-day activities and day-to-day working of their employees, their subordinates in the particular department, in their particular department, and seeing all the managerial situation in the right manner, right? To be effective, management policies and practices must respond to environmental changes, right? So according to the environmental changes, the external changes in the environment, the internal changes in the environment, right? So according to the changes, there must be management policies must be implemented and work on that basis, right? So according to the changes, according to the fluctuation in the internal and external atmosphere of the business, the management have to follow and implement their policies accordingly, right? Contingency approach attempts to determine the predictable relationship between situation, action, and outcome. Right. So here, manager have to predict the things, right? Predict the various strategies, planning, and make a plan, make a predetermined planning in their mind, strategies, and various techniques for overcoming the situation that can be possible in the formal organization in relation between the situation, action, and overcome, right? So if there will be any situation and hurdle in the organization, what will be the action that has to be decided, pre-decided, and from the various alternative sources, alternative the various alternative choices available in the organization that has to be extracted by the manager, that which type of strategy, which type of technique has to be used for a particular situation, for overcoming the situation, and for overcoming the problem in the particular department, particular environment, particular employee, right? So according to the situation, there must be a different plan, different process, and different strategies has to be implemented by the manager in an efficient manner, right? So that the overcoming of the problem can be held in the organization, right? So these are interrelated things. According to the situation, they must be action so that the overcoming of the difficulty can be take place, right? Contingency approach is the extension of system approach. In my previous lecture, that was lecture number 16, we have discussed system approach. System approach is we have discussed that the complete business is a system, and the subdivision of the business, it means the various departments coming under the business, right, will be the subsystems, and further there are further subsystems of the various departments in the organization, right? So this is all about system and subsystem, right? So basically here contingency approach is the extension of the system approach. It means that after dividing the system and subsystem specifically, then we have to overlook the situation, then we have to see the working in the formal organization, the employees who are working at subordinative level or supervisory level, right? The manager has to look after the subordinative level, that the working should be in the right manner, and if there is any barrier, if there is any conflict, if there is any hurdle in working in the formal organization, the manager has to overcome this barrier by implementation of right strategy, right plan, right technique in the organization, right? So this is all about the contingency theory. So contingency theory or contingency approach is the next step, the extension of the system approach, right? In order to be effective, the internal functioning of the organization must be consistent with the demand of external environment, right? According to the demand, according to the expectation, and according to the fluctuations in the external environment, there must be change in the internal environment. The manager has to maintain a balance between the internal and external environment of the business for survival in the long run, right? The manager must keep the functioning of the organization in harmony with the needs of its member and the external factors, right? So it is the duty of the manager to maintain a harmony among the employees internally, as well as maintain the harmony between the interrelated factors, which are said to be the internally, we can say, the factors of production, and externally the external environment, the link between the internal and external environment, right? So there must be harmony, there must be coordination and communication between the internal and external factors in right manner, and there must be cooperation between the internal and external factors so that all can work on for a common objective, for a common goals in a formal organization, right? So it is the responsibility of the effective manager for overcoming all the conflicts, all the problems in the formal organization, and maintain of harmony in the formal organization for achievement of goals, right? So this is all about the introduction of contingency approach. There are certain few more points of introduction we will be discussing. Let's continue. The basic idea of this approach is that number of management techniques or theory is appropriate at all situations, right? The main determinants of contingency are related to external and internal environment of the business, right? So according to by looking after the internal factors, by looking after the external environment of the business, the manager has to make changes, fluctuations, and has to extract the opportunities internally and externally, that what are the various possibilities of getting the conflicts, and what are the various situations can be arise in the formal organization, organization and what will be the strategy he may adopt in the particular situation, right? So all things has to be predetermined, right? And according to the situation, it is the ability of the manager to implement a specific type of strategy or technique for solving of a specific problem in the formal organization at a time, right? So these are interrelated things. Thus, we can say that entire management is a formal organization. In a formal organization, is extremely situational, right? So we can say that entire formal organization is very situational, right? According to the situation in day-to-day functioning in the formal organization, anything can happen, right? So basically, a future is uncertain. We cannot, predict. We can predict all the things, but we cannot. We don't know what will happen tomorrow, right? So it is very situational, that and it can be possibility that there can be arises of any problem and conflict in the formal organization. Then the manager has to make plans and get ready of this plan, get ready of the options, various options that can be implemented over the overcoming of this situation, overcoming of this conflict in the market, in the business, so that the organization can work on smoothly basis, right? So what a manager does depends upon given situation, and there is an active interrelationship between the variables in a situation and the managerial action. Right. According to the managerial action, according to the variable factors of production, right? Working of the organization, working of the employees in the organization with the human and non-human factors, collaboration of human and non-human factors, right? And the communication and the coordination between the external and internal factors, right? So all the things has to be taken care by the manager and have to work on smoothly basis for overcoming all the barriers in the formal organization and getting off the desired goals and objectives effectively, right? It is suggested that no organizational design may be suitable for all situations, right? So according to contingency theory, no only one type of strategy is appropriate for solving all the problems in the formal organization. So for different problem there must be different strategy. For different barrier in the formal organization, there must be different type of process, different type of planning that has to be implemented by the specialized manager for solving that particular problem in the formal organization, right? So no organizational design may be suitable for all situation, right? So there must be different organizational design according to the situation, right? Coming forward, rather thus suitable design is to be determined keeping in view the requirement of the environment, technology, task, people, right? So by keeping in a viewpoint the internal and external factor, the satisfaction level, the availability from the scarce resources, and the expectations of the internal and external factor, the manager has to determine and extract the various possibilities, the various opportunities from the market internally and externally, and so that the work can go on smoothly basis, right? So this is all about the introduction of contingency approach, which basically tells that there must be different type of strategy and planning that has to be adopted by the manager in a formal organization for overcoming the barriers, for overcoming the different situations, the different environmental conflicts in the formal organization, right? So it is not possible that only one organizational design should be maintained and should be implemented for all the situations in the formal organization. So there must be differentiation of strategies, there must be differentiation of planning for different situations, right? So this is all about introduction to contingency theory. Coming towards the features of contingency approach to management. The first feature specifies management is extremely situational, right? So according to the situation, we have to implement the strategy, we have to implement the plan, right? So management is extremely situational. The conditions of the situation will determine which techniques and control system should be designed to fit the particular situation, right? So according to the particular situation, there must be a particular design, there must be a particular plan to by the manager to the subordinates, right? So the management is very extremely situational, right? Second feature, management is extremely situational. Again, the same thing. There is no best way of doing anything, right? So it determined that there is no specific one way of doing all the things in the organization, right? So according to this contingency approach, there must be different techniques that have to be adopted by the manager for achievement of organizational goals and for overcoming the different situations in the formal organization. One need to adapt himself to the circumstances, right? According to the circumstances, all the factors of production have to be work together, coordinate together, and the manager also has to look after all these factors and have to work in the smooth manner for the achievement of organizational goals and departmental goals in the organization. It is a kind of if-then approach, right? If-then approach, it means it is related to opportunities, extracting of the opportunities by the manager from the environment, internally and externally, right? For solving the problem, a particular problem in the organization, there must be many options, there must be many opportunities that have to be chosen by the manager. The right strategy, the right plan, the right technique has to be chosen by the manager for implementation, for solving the present problem in the formal organization, right? So it must be if and then approach, right? So there must be options in the organization for solving the problem. It is practically situated, right? So basically these organizational problems can arise automatically and while working in the formal organization, right? In day-to-day activities we can get these problems, we may get these problems or we may not get these problems. So it is basically a practical approach for working in the formal organization. Management policies and procedures should respond to environment, right? So these all management problems and procedures and policies, all the things has to be respond according to the environment, according to the working of the internal factors, internal environment, and according to the changes of the external environment. These management policies and procedures should be planned, should be implemented, right? The last feature, managers should understand that there is no best way of managing. It disputes the universal validity of principle, right? So basically, every manager should understand that for every different situation, there must be different type of strategy that have to be adopted for solving that particular problem, right? So it is not possible for getting the same technique, getting the same strategy for solving all the problems in the formal organization, right? So it is the need of understanding this concept of. So this is all about the features of contingency approach to management. Coming towards the diagram, here you can see a diagram which specifies the contingency framework for a formal organization, right? So it's a design which shows the environment. Environment can be the internal environment and the external environment. External environment are further subdivided in micro and macro, right? This environment is uncontrollable factor to the business, right? Here you can see the member characteristic, right? Member characteristics is related to the internal factors, internal aspects of the business, right? These factors are controllable. These are the factors of production, right? So here you can see the task, the work which has to be performed by the internal organization, right? With the coordination of external organization, external factors of production, right? So with the help of this and with applying of the strategies, different type of strategies in the organization, we have to integrate, we have to combine together all these factors for achievement of, for getting of organizational effectiveness and output. Right, here you can see in these boxes contingency factors. Right, these are the contingency factors: the external and internal environment, the work has to, which has to be done, right, the strategies which has to be implemented, and the internal factors of business. Right, after that, organizational design, the ability of manager of conversion of this raw material into finished product by the proper use of men and human and non-human factors. Right, the proper use and coordination of the internal and external factors, internal and external environment of the business. Right, so that the output can be effective. The output is organizational effectiveness plus right quality of goods and services, so that the achievement of departmental goals can be possible, so that the organization can reach its objective in detail. Right, so this is all about the contingency framework design for a formal organization. Right, hope you have understood about contingency theory in detail, and thanks for watching my lecture. For further related videos, do like, share and subscribe my channel. Have a nice day. Thank you.